Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the Pyraminx with the layer by layer method. This method is really easy to learn. It only consists of 3 steps and you can easily get sub 10. You can probably even get down to 5-6 seconds with this method. Let's get started. Right now we're not going to focus on anything involving the tips. I'll talk a bit about them at the end. Right now we're going to go into the first step, which is the first side centers. And this pretty much means getting 3 centers of the same color on one side. So on this case, red would be very easy, just one move. Now all 3 of the red centers are on the same side. Another example would be, I see that these 2 reds are correct right here, but the 3rd red is not there. So in that case, what you would have to do is move these up to the next side, and then you can move the red right over. This step is pretty intuitive. I think that you shouldn't have a problem figuring it out. I also would really recommend being color neutral, meaning that you don't start with a particular color. You can just start with anything because later on it definitely will benefit you. So for step 2, we'll be completing one full side. So in this case, we're just going to continue with red. There's really only 2 possible cases for this step. So what you're going to look for is an edge piece on the top that needs to be brought down into one of the 3 open edge slots. So in this case, the blue-red is right there. So you're just going to line it up so that it can pretty much go right down like that. So you'd want the color of the bottom facing you. And if it's on the left like this, you're going to do L, R prime, L prime, R. Put it in. And if it's on the right, like this case, you're going to do R prime, L, R, L prime. Now I'm going to go over a few special cases. One that does come up frequently is when the edge is in the right spot but flipped. In this case, what you're going to do is just either one of those inserts, whichever one you like more, to bring it out, and then you're going to realign it and do an insert to put it in. Another possible case is if you have 2 edges that are switched, in which case you would just do an insert to bring one out, then correctly put that one in, which would knock the other one out, and then put that one in correctly. So by the end, you should have one completed side like this. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement with this step as you get better at block building and efficiency. The last step is completing the last layer. There are 5 cases, many of which have multiple different algorithms that you could use. So I'll leave a doc in the description so you can check out all the algs and see which ones you like best. The first case is the 2 flip, where one edge is solved and the other 2 are flipped. The alg for this case is R prime, L, R, L prime, U, L prime, U prime, L. The next case I'm calling the clockwise cycle. It's pretty much just when the edges need to all transfer clockwise. And the alg for this is R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. The next case is the counterclockwise cycle, very similar except the edges all need to go counterclockwise. There is an RU alg for this case, but it's weird to execute and it's easy to get confused with the clockwise cycle, so I prefer to do the lefty one. The alg goes L prime, U, L, U, L prime, U, L. This case I'm just going to call weird right. The way I recognize it is I think of this side as like a V kind of, and this is a V side as well. Well, this side doesn't have a V. So you hold one V facing you and one V to the right. That's why I'm calling it weird right. The alg for this case is R prime, L prime, U prime, L, U, R. There is also an 8-move alg for this. The execution is different. Even though it's more moves, some people do think that the execution is faster, so you should definitely check that out if you're interested. Here we have weird left, very similar, except you hold one V facing you and one V to your left, and the alg is L, R, U, R prime, U prime, L prime. And again, there also is an 8-move alg. So that is it for solving the Pyraminx using the layer by layer method. I'm just going to talk about tips real quick. I might make a whole video about tips eventually because there's a lot of stuff there. But my basic rule of thumb is don't save more than 2 tips for the end. So what I mean by that is try to do your tips throughout the solve. Definitely don't do them all at the beginning or all at the end. So try to do like most of them throughout the solve, and then but if you have to, don't leave more than 2 for the end, simply because you can solve 2 tips in like 1 easy movement, but once it becomes 3 tips you might have to like rotate or regrip or something. So that's pretty much it. I also made a PowerPoint to accompany this video with all the steps, and as I said before, a doc with the last layer algs and the alternate algs, so feel free to check those out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!